Amazon SQS FAQs, Features, Functionality, and Interfaces section. Question: can I use Amazon SQS with other AWS services? Yes. You can make your applications more flexible and scalable by using Amazon SQS with compute services such as Amazon EC2, Amazon EC2 Container Service, Amazon ECS, and AWS Lambda, as well as with storage and database services such as Amazon Simple Storage Service, Amazon S3, and Amazon DynamoDB. Question: how can I interact with Amazon SQS? You can access Amazon SQS using the AWS Management Console, which helps you create Amazon SQS queues and send messages easily. Amazon SQS also provides a web services API. It is also integrated with the AWS SDKs, allowing you to work in the programming language of your choice. Question: what API actions are available for Amazon SQS? For information on message queue operations, see the Amazon SQS API reference. Question: who can perform operations on a message queue? Only an AWS account owner or an AWS account that the account owner has delegated rights to can perform operations on an Amazon SQS message queue. Question: can I use Java Message Service, JMS, with Amazon SQS? Yes, you can take advantage of the scale, low cost, and high availability of Amazon SQS without the worry and high overhead of running your own JMS cluster. Amazon provides the Amazon SQS Java messaging library that implements the JMS 1.1 specification and uses Amazon SQS as the JMS provider. For more information, see Using JMS with Amazon SQS in the Amazon SQS Developer Guide. Question: how does Amazon SQS identify messages? All messages have a global unique ID that Amazon SQS returns when the message is delivered to the message queue. The ID isn't required to perform any further actions on the message, but it is useful for tracking the receipt of a particular message in the message queue. When you receive a message from the message queue, the response includes a receipt handle that you must provide when deleting the message. For more information, see Queue and Message Identifiers in the Amazon SQS Developer Guide. Question: how does Amazon SQS handle messages that cannot be processed? In Amazon SQS, you can use the API or the console to configure dead letter queues, which are queues that receive messages from other source queues. If you make a queue into a dead letter queue, it receives messages after a maximum number of processing attempts cannot be completed. You can use dead letter queues to isolate messages that can't be processed for later analysis. For more information, see Can I use a dead letter queue with FIFO queues? On this page, and using Amazon SQS dead letter queues in the Amazon SQS Developer Guide. Question: what is a visibility timeout? The visibility timeout is a period of time during which Amazon SQS prevents other consuming components from receiving and processing a message. For more information, see Visibility Timeout in the Amazon SQS Developer Guide. Question: does Amazon SQS support message metadata? Yes. An Amazon SQS message can contain up to 10 metadata attributes. You can use message attributes to separate the body of a message from the metadata that describes it. This helps process and store information with greater speed and efficiency because your applications don't have to inspect an entire message before understanding how to process it. Amazon SQS message attributes take the form of name, type, value triplets. The supported types include string, binary, and number, including integer, floating point, and double. For more information, see Using Amazon SQS Message Attributes in the Amazon SQS Developer Guide. Question: how can I determine the time in queue value? To determine the time in queue value, you can request the sent timestamp attribute when receiving a message. Subtracting that value from the current time results in the time in queue value. What is the typical latency for Amazon SQS? Typical latencies for send message, receive message, and delete message API requests are in the tens or low hundreds of milliseconds. Question: for anonymous access, what is the value of the sender ID attribute for a message? When the AWS account ID is not available, for example, when an anonymous user sends a message, Amazon SQS provides the IP address. Question: what is Amazon SQS long polling? Amazon SQS long polling is a way to retrieve messages from your Amazon SQS queues. While the regular short polling returns immediately, even if the message queue being polled is empty, long polling doesn't return a response until a message arrives in the message queue or the long poll times out. Long polling makes it inexpensive to retrieve messages from your Amazon SQS queue as soon as the messages are available. Using long polling might reduce cost of using SQS because you can reduce the number of empty receives. For more information, see Amazon SQS long polling in the Amazon SQS Developer Guide. Question: is there an additional charge for using Amazon SQS long polling? No. Long polling receive message calls are billed exactly the same as short polling receive message calls. Question: when should I use Amazon SQS long polling, and when should I use Amazon SQS short polling? In almost all cases, Amazon SQS long polling is preferable to short polling. Long polling requests let your queue consumers receive messages as soon as they arrive in your queue, while reducing the number of empty receive message response instances returned. Amazon SQS long polling results in higher performance at reduced cost in the majority of use cases. However, if your application expects an immediate response from a received message call, you might not be able to take advantage of long polling without some modifications to your application. For example, if your application uses a single thread to poll multiple queues, switching from short polling to long polling will probably not work, because the single thread will wait for long poll timeouts on an empty queue, delaying the processing of any queues that might contain messages. In such an application, it is a good practice to use a single thread to process only one queue, allowing the application to take advantage of the benefits that Amazon SQS long polling provides. Question: what value should I use for my long poll timeout? In general, you should use maximum 20 seconds for a long poll timeout, because higher long poll timeout values reduce the number of empty receive message response instances returned, try to set your long poll timeout as high as possible. If the 20-second maximum doesn't work for your application, see the example in the previous question. Set a shorter long poll timeout as low as 1 second. All AWS SDKs work with 20-second long polls by default. If you don't use an AWS SDK to access Amazon SQS, or if you configured your AWS SDK to specifically have a shorter timeout, you might need to modify your Amazon SQS client to allow longer requests or to use a shorter long poll timeout. Question: what is the Amazon SQS buffered async client for Java? The Amazon SQS buffered async client for Java provides an implementation of the Amazon SQS async client interface and adds several important features. Automatic batching of multiple send message, delete message, or change message visibility requests without any required changes to the application. Prefetching of messages into a local buffer that allows your application to immediately process messages from Amazon SQS without waiting for the messages to be retrieved. Working together, automatic batching and prefetching increase the throughput and reduce the latency of your application while reducing your costs by making fewer Amazon SQS requests. For more information, see client-side buffering and request batching in the Amazon SQS Developer Guide. Question: where can I download the Amazon SQS buffered async client for Java? You can download the Amazon SQS buffered async client as part of the AWS SDK for Java. Question: do I have to rewrite my application to use the Amazon SQS buffered async client for Java? No, the Amazon SQS buffered async client for Java is implemented as a drop-in replacement for the existing Amazon SQS async client. If you update your application to use the latest AWS SDK and change your client to use the Amazon SQS buffered async client for Java instead of the Amazon SQS async client, your application will receive the added benefit of automatic batching and prefetching. Question: how can I subscribe Amazon SQS message queues to receive notification from Amazon SNS topics? Step 1. In the Amazon SQS console, select an Amazon SQS standard queue. Step 2. Under Queue Actions, select Subscribe Queue to SNS topic from the drop-down list. Step 3. In the dialog box, select the topic from the Choose a Topic drop-down list and click Subscribe. For more information, see Subscribing a Queue to an Amazon SNS topic in the Amazon SQS Developer Guide. Question: can I delete all messages in a message queue without deleting the message queue itself? Yes, you can delete all messages in an Amazon SQS message queue using the Purge Queue action. When you purge a message queue, all the messages previously sent to the message queue are deleted. Because your message queue and its attributes remain, there is no need to reconfigure the message queue. You can continue using it. To delete only specific messages, use the delete message or delete message batch actions. For more information, see this tutorial, Purging Messages from an Amazon SQS Queue.